So you're a coach, a consultant, an author, a speaker, some kind of expert. You just want to be in a position where you can teach people what it is that you know. And you're stressed for time, you're afraid of technology, and you're just wondering, how can I create a course really quickly? What can I do to capture all the stuff I have in my head and put it in the form of an online course that I can put on my own training site or put on a site where I can basically share my expertise? Well, what we're going to do today is I'm just going to go over, like, you got a bunch of options on how you can do this. What I want to do today is I want to be able to show you a simple process. I'm going to show you a simple process that I've used in the past that allows you to quickly create a course, capture it on a video in the form of a tutorial or a how-to, and put you in a position where you're going to be able to get a course put together as quickly as you can basically capture it. Now, the best thing is we're going to do this without using PowerPoint. Now, as a speaker or coach or consultant, PowerPoint or Keynote or whatever app you end up using, it's one of the kind of staples for creating content to share. You can still do it, but I'm just going to show you a much quicker way to do it. And I'm actually going to do it live with you. So you're going to be able to see what happens here. So how does this actually work? I'm going to go through the process with you, the steps. We're going to do it live. And at the end, I'm going to share something with you that allows you to have a checklist or another track to follow on as you actually go through and do this. And I'm hoping, at the end of it, you're going to go, okay, I can do this, and be in a position where you're going to be able to quickly create your first course and make it available for sale, hopefully, or at least put it in a position where you can teach what it is that you already know and do. So a couple of things that are going to happen. We're going to go into the lessons, and in these steps, I'm going to perhaps stop and start. I haven't decided yet because this is kind of ad hoc. I'm actually using a process that I would use, and you're going to see how it works. So a couple of the steps we're going to go through. The first one that I want you just to be aware of and think about is, and they're kind of assumptions, they're bit of assumptions. I'm assuming that you have a purpose of creating this, whether it's a course or a lesson in a course or some topics in a lesson. I'm assuming that you've got a purpose of this. It's something that that you've got some kind of system or tips or something that you want to share. So I'm assuming that you've actually done that and you've got a purpose. So where does this fit in, this lesson or topic that you're doing? Where does this fit into your training site? Is it a lesson? Is it the entire course? How are you going to use it? And what do you want to have happen at the end? Is it something that the person that you're teaching this to will be able to do something specific? Is it just general information? Is it for entertaining? Is this going to be free? Is this something that you're going to be charging for? So I want to make sure that you have a purpose. And if you haven't already, write this down and make sure that you understand what the purpose of the particular call is. So for me, in this case, the purpose is, at the end of this, I want you to be able to take the tools and the steps I'm going to share with you. I want you to be able to right away go out and use that same process and create your first course. So that's my goal, and that's what I'm hoping to teach you there. So big assumption up front. I want to make sure that you, in fact, have a purpose for creating this. Now, the other thing is I'm going to change, probably, not change, I might use the word lesson or topic or course. The thing is, it can be used for all of those, and it doesn't really matter what you name your courses and or lessons or courses and topics. I'm talking about the process or the thing that you're actually trying to teach. Whatever name suits you best. Or that you use, that's fine. I may use them interchangeably because the process is the same whether or not it's a course, a lesson, a topic, a part of a course, a section, but it's being able to capture that process or the required knowledge for an outcome at the end of it. Okay, so that's the first thing. Second assumption is I want to make sure that you have either you have to have two, you got a purpose for it, but you got to have two bits of information. One is if you're going to be sharing something that you already know, I'm assuming that you've got some expertise, personal expertise, and that's what it is that you're sharing. So this might be something that you've done yourself before. On the other hand, it might be something that you've researched. So it's either something that you already know or it's something that you've researched. Many of the times I do some of these videos personally, and they seem a little ad hoc, but it's because I've done them 70 or 80 or 100 or 200 times. So I'm assuming that you've either have personal experience you're trying to share, or you've done the research that you need to do to provide the outcome to the people that you're doing. So you get a purpose, you've got the information, and you've got the information structured in some way that you can put it together in the form of a course. Now, here's the next piece that I need you to remember. We're doing online video tutorials. We're creating online courses. I'm assuming that you have some tools. And the tools that we're going to use today, the one that is really important, well, there's actually two that you're going to need. And I'll provide the links for them for you in the materials below. And the first one is that you're going to have some way to do a screen capture. We're going to be using a computer screen capture to put this one together. So whether you're on a Mac or a PC or whatever kind of device, I'm assuming that you've got a way to capture the presentations / content that we're going to be showing. I'm assuming you can capture that on the screen with your voice. So if you've got a microphone and a screen capture software, that's perfect. I have a camera right now. It doesn't have to be used, but if you do have a camera, so I'm assuming that you've got some kind of setup to capture the screen, audio at a minimum, and preferably some video as well. And you're going to need, if you have screen capture software, there's lots that are free, but I'm assuming also that you might want to have some that can do some basic editing and make it a little more professional, or fine-tune some of the areas perhaps that didn't come together for you. So that's the next piece. Got some screen recorder software, maybe some editor, a microphone, some basic ways to capture your content. There's one other tool that I'm going to be using today. There's a free version. It's available on Mac and PC, but you can use this one or a similar one. I'm using one called xmind.net, and Xmind is mind mapping software. And the one that I'm going to use, you're going to see there's a real unique tool in it that will actually allow you to create a course and also do the presentation that you can capture and have as your course or your lesson. So xmind.net, again, I'll put the links below and some way to capture it. So I'm assuming that you've got those tools. So you got a purpose for the course, you've got some expertise, you got a couple tools put together so that you can actually capture it. Now, what happens from here? If you haven't created a course, you're probably wondering, well, how do I structure it? Like, how do I put the lessons together? Now, I'm going to give you some additional bonuses at the end of the video, but let's go through an actual step right now on how you can create a course. So we're going to go to the screen capture here. Right now, we've been sitting on the teachonline.io site. If you haven't joined, this is a free membership site to start, and we've got a lot of great tutorials to go through and additional materials, plus our mastery courses. But if you haven't signed up for that now, we're here on the teachonline.io site, but I'm going to go to a resource, and this is one of the ones we use for researching our courses. So this site is called Answer the Public. So if you're not familiar with it, you can just type in Answer the Public, and it's going to bring up the Answer the Public site, and you're going to see a site that looks similar to this. Now, why are we going to do this? Well, because one of the things that people have trouble with when they're creating courses is they got this stuff in their head, but how do you organize it in some steps or a process that answer the questions that the people who you're trying to teach probably have? And really, really easy way to do it. So go to answerthepublic.com, and if you take a look down just on that main page, right on the main page, all you need to do is do one or two searches here, and you can pick the language and the country, And what it does, it's going to give you a visual representation of all of the questions people are asking that you can answer as the outline for your course. So how do we do that? Let's do one on, I'm just going to do one like online courses. I'm going to type in online courses. We've got 2, and it's asking me to register. And in this one, it didn't ask me last time. So let's time this, go and register. I'll put one in here if you haven't already. And we'll put a password in so you don't know what it is. And register. And I use one called LastPass to add and keep track of the password. So I just put that one in. And let's do this one again. Here we go. 386 results for online courses. So all you need to do is go to answerthepublic.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to do some searches on 1 or 2 keywords. Now, take a look across the top here. Questions, 74 questions. Public questions. This uses artificial intelligence to do aggregates of searches. 74 questions that people, the public, have about your topic, in this case, online courses. So if you're doing furniture repair, if you're doing fitness, if you're doing baking, whatever your topic is, put in 1 to 2 keywords and you're going to get some kind of similar result. And if we take a look at it here, 74 questions, and we've got highly searched, average searched, and lowest searched. Now let's take a look at this. This is absolutely awesome. Now, why is it? Online courses, we've got which ones are more searched versus less searched, and they in general go from higher searched to lower searched. You can see it gets lighter and lighter. Okay, but that's not the one I want you to look at. The important one is on the outside, we have what, which, are, will, how, where, who, when, can, and why. Now, for me, the interesting thing with this is these words, those questions, who, what, where, when, how, and why, that is the lessons, or can be the lessons for your course. The questions that people are asking are all in order here. So what do we do with this? You've got your topic you put in, you're an expert in. You've probably got some questions you've answered, but the important part is if you look at these who, what, where, when, how, why, you can create a course with this. So how do we do that? So that's Answer the Public. That's the first part. Here's the second part. I'm going to open up the program called Xmind. And Xmind, hopefully it'll come up here. There we go. Xmind, this is the paid version. Again, I put the link to it as well. I am going to open up this app, and this can be done with any kind of mind mapping software. I'm just going to do a blank one to start. I'm going to open up a blank one, and it's going to open up for me a mind map. So here's the great part. Color coded. It's just a generic mind map. On this one, on Xmind, it does something kind of neat. If you go over to the right-hand side of Xmind, and if this doesn't show up, there's a little format button in the upper right-hand corner. What it has is different formats of mind maps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a skeleton as the default one. I'm going to scroll down, and here's the one that I really like. It is a tree chart. It can be a tree chart or a timeline. I like the tree chart, so I'm just going to pick it as a tree chart. And here we go. What have I got here? Well, remember my topic. Again, I'm not getting into the titling your course, that kind of thing, but I'm just going to put in online courses because that's what I searched for. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to take a look and say, what are they? So remember we're looking at that Answer the Public one? Let me see if I can open that up again. We'll go back to it. There we go. Wrong one. So what is an online course? There's which ones are in demand? Which ones make the most money? What online courses should I take? How are they credited? What are still the best ones? Which ones are free? Which are the most popular? So you can use these outside ones. What is an online course? Which course is the one that you're talking about? So all I'm going to say is I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to suggest that you go through and say, what are online courses? Spell it properly. All you need to do is you can go through the who, what, where, when, why, how, all of that information. And because you have expertise, you can order these in the way that you want, but just answer the questions that are all about what are online courses. Who is this course for? Which topics am I going to cover or should I copy? Why would I want to learn them? How would I use them? So at any time, you can create your topics here. And in this case, let me just do this one. I can go and say, answer 1, answer 2, and what have I got here? At the end of the day, if we go and do these just in this sort of timeline, you're going to be in a position where you now have 1 lesson, 2 lessons, 3 lessons, 4 lessons in a course. If this is a specific lesson in a course, you have the lesson, you have the topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4. And these where it says answer, they can be bullet points. You're the subject matter expert, but you're in a unique situation where you now have a course outline done in a way using Answer the Public that we have some structured questions that people already have that you can answer. So really, really simple way of doing it. Now here's the interesting part from here. I got my course kind of laid out. I put my questions and answers. I say, well, maybe I want to change this one around. Why do I want to use this? So what is this course about? Why do I want to learn this? Now, I'm assuming that you're going to be able to put in your information here. How is it applied? Where should it be used? And again, these questions are just ones that are on Answer the Public, but organize your points along this question and answer. And what I'm going to do here is just so that we have it for the next part of the presentation so you see what happens. I'm just going to go up to the top here. We're going to put a subtopic and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And on this one here, I'm going to put some more subtopics and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. And again, I can also do additional ones, right? I can put an additional one, bullet point in if I want. I can also go and in fact add, right mouse click, I can insert some notes or images, an attachment, a hyperlink, everything is in there. So if I want to put a note just to remind myself, cover this example, but I have a map of my course put together right here in Xmind. Pretty simple stuff, right? Okay, well, what do I do next? I've got my information here. I've organized it in a way that makes a course. How am I actually going to record this? Well, let's take a look and see what happens. 2 things. Organize your content here beforehand. Get it in the order that you want. That's cool. That's all done. If you ever get stuck or you don't want to use this kind of format where you're doing the actual mind map, the bottom right-hand corner, there's one called Outliner. Look what happens. Here's the structure of the course. So you can go and update this. You're in a great position where you've got everything set up, your course content's there. You can add your notes. Again, some people go ad hoc. Some people want to have it as an actual transcription they read from. This is a perfect outline to get you started and give you the ability to organize your course in a real simple way. So where do we go from this? Let's go back, and I'm going to go back to the mind map. And in Xmind, pay attention to this. Here's a really good one. If you have that screen recording software, Normally what happens is you have to do a PowerPoint presentation. You got to take this, put it into PowerPoint, do individual slides, all of that stuff. So here's a really, really quick way to do it without getting fancy. If you're doing the narration, if you've got a screen capture going, if you look on the upper right-hand corner of Xmind, there's one called Pitch. So let's click it and see what happens. This comes up here, and I've got my online course, and on an other monitor, I've actually got the pitch showing up. So in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it. So on this one, tools, sorry, let me exit this first. If I exit this one and I go back to the pitch, and we'll go back to the tools, the view, I'm going to do pitch mode. I'm going to do present in window. So I think that's the one. And Shazam, I now have a presentation. And what I can do is record the screen, record the narration, and actually go through just with the mouse, or you'll see there's a forward and backwards here. I can move my mouse up and down. I can do a single click. I've now got my online course. What is this course about? You go through the points. You've already talked about them. They're there. You can go ad hoc. If you had to print out the notes, you can from the mind map beforehand, have them down in front of you, but you can go through the entire presentation. Pretty straightforward stuff. It's all there. Now, here's the best part. This is black and white, not too shiny, right? Well, let's say we want to make something a little prettier, a little more graphically appealing. If I go to the settings here, upper right hand corner, change theme. I really like this one. I now have a pitch that's a little bit shinier, and you can create your own templates that you want. Whether you have branded one or not branded one, you can create a template and have it go. Okay? You now have a recorded course that is done without PowerPoint, and it only requires that you either use an outline mode and or the mind map to create your steps that you need to share or want to share with people. So really, really straightforward stuff. And the part that I like about this, and I'm not going to do it on this because we're just putting this one on YouTube. We have additional courses for this. I'm just going to click exit. These, if I wanted this as a course, I have lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. I have 4 lessons. I have a mini course here. And I can tell people, you know, if I have 3 to 5, 3 to 7 minutes of content here, I might make this one lesson and give them an assignment, a quiz, materials related to this. I may do this one as a second lesson, so I can break it up into individual lessons to make it a course. If it's just one that I want to do as a mini course, a dump, you can do these as the points that you're going to cover during it. So you got a lot of flexibility here, and you're in a unique situation that we've done something quickly. You know, you've got the expertise, you've done the research, you now know from Answer the Public what the questions are, the ones that people are asking. You should know from your own experience, but this who, what, where, when, how, and why sort of setup allows you to create a structure for how you're going to create the course. Now, here's a bonus. What I've done is I put together, I have a mind map for a course that we did. It's the lesson and course structure map from YouTube. So what we've done is we put together the process that content creators use in creating YouTube content. We've applied that to course content, and there's a unique structure that they use that applies perfectly to courses on how we actually organize the content in each of these. So another step into that. So we put that together. So I hope you've enjoyed this. We've got the bonus here. We've got all of these tips. Let's go through them one more time. So you're going to make sure that you got a purpose. You've done the research. You've got the knowledge base that's there. You've got some tools for doing the audio and the screen capture and maybe a little bit of editing. If you can do first takes, fine. Good. You're good to go. And then what we're going to do is the steps, right? So the steps that we had were those purpose, tools, and knowledge. The other one was about using the Answer the Public, making out your list or your outline for your course. The next one in Xmind, the next one was using the pitch mode in your mind mapping software. And again, some have this, some don't. You'll have to pick one that does have the pitch mode. But you have pitch mode, you record the pitch that you've created. You now have a video capture of a course. And you can keep it all as one video, publish it to YouTube, and or break it into lessons as a playlist on your training site or on YouTube or on both. So pretty cool process, easy to put together, and there's not a lot to really have to get fancy with, other than the fact is that you're going to be in a position where you've got to have some kind of course or some kind of place to distribute it. And again, whether that's YouTube or your own training site, that's fine. If you want to come and visit teachonline.io, it's here to join up. We've got the mastery courses and also our complete list. There's the mastery courses: Campus Mastery, Active Campaign Mastery, Course Creation Mastery, and LearnDash Mastery. And then we've got a bunch of mini courses available that are free to go in as well. So hope you enjoyed this. This is James Maduch speaking. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course, and we'll be back with more great tutorials on how to start, build, and grow your own training business teaching online.